Hello, welcome, and thank you again for checking into the Film Stop. Today we're talking about shutter. Now, before I go on, I'd like you to go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the notification bell for more updates on any upcoming videos from the Film Stop. Now, today we're talking about shutter. Now, what is shutter? Shutter is the little click sound we usually hear when we're taking our photos. Okay? So whatever you hear when you're taking your photo is actually the shutter that's opening and closing. Now, from our previous discussions, we've learned that shutter is actually the factor that actually opens or allows light for a period of time to enter and reach our sensor. Now, how does shutter affect your image quality or how good your picture is? Now, usually if I'm taking still photos, I keep my shutter at about 160 or 1/50th of a second. Now, another thing to know is shutter is determined or is measured in seconds. Now, our longest shutter on my camera is 30 seconds, and the fastest my camera can shoot is probably 1/1000 of a second. Now, there are cameras that go up to 1/4000 seconds, and that is if you really want to capture really fast movement or objects that are really moving really fast. Now, that shutter really affects our image whenever we're trying to freeze motion. So when I'm taking photos or I'm taking photos at an event and there's probably a lot of movement, a lot of dancing, I probably want to adjust my shutter speed to something that will actually be able to freeze movement in my image. Now, an example is shown here where my shutter was shot at 1/25th of a second while I was waving, and another image showing 1/60th of a second, and another image showing 1/125 of a second. Now, these three images are taking the same movement, but the one with the 1/125 of a second really captured my hand movement, or it really froze the motion of my hand moving. Now, that will be really important when you're taking, as a photographer or a filmmaker, events or actions that are really fast. For example, if you're a sports photographer and you're capturing probably cars or a sports rally, or if you're at an event and people are dancing, you probably want to pay attention on your shutter speed. So there's certain instances where your shutter, a slow shutter is usually used. For example, this is a photo that I took of a waterfall a couple of years ago. Now, long shutter speeds longer shutter speeds are usually used to make or create really soft or ethereal images, especially of fluid substances like water, or even if you want to capture light. Probably you've seen light trails or traffic light trails kind of images. These are instances where people have used long shutter speeds creatively to create a good photo. So whenever we're talking about shutter speed, we always think of motion. So if you're going to be taking photos or be filming anything that has movement, you probably want to look at your shutter speed and be able to find a good measure to actually allow you to have a good photo.